Hello guys, in this video I'll show you about the most widely used testing framework, TestNg. Before we get started, I want to mention that if you actually using old version of Eclipse, you probably need to install the TestNg plugin. But if you are running on Eclipse, which is the latest version, I'm using Eclipse. I believe it's Neon, and if you're using Mars or any version that's the latest one, TestNg comes with it, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you, by any chance, if you actually didn't have TestNg installed, you can get it from the Eclipse Marketplace. If you go to Help in the Eclipse Marketplace, you can do a search on TestNg plugin, and then after we install that plugin, we should be able to run TestNg in our Eclipse. I'll do TestNg, and then I'll do a search. This will result on the different plugins, and the one I'm interested in is TestNg. Actually, I have it installed in my machine right here. It's already installed, but if you, by any chance, if you don't have it, you can go and grab it from here. Perfect. Once we have that one, we can actually dive into the coding part. So I'll start by creating a new project, a simple Java project. So I'll say TestNg project. And the other thing that I want to mention about these projects, TestNg libraries, again, they will come with the latest Eclipse. If you have it installed, they will come handy because they have the library ready for you, even for JUnit and TestNg, and most of the commonly used application libraries, they will come with it. So if you do right click on your project, and if you go to the project build paths, configure build paths, and then if you go to libraries, under add libraries, if you click on add libraries, you see all these different types of libraries. You have JUnit, Maven, plugin dependencies, and you have TestNg down here. So you can select TestNg and hit finish. So now we have TestNg as part of our build paths, and you can see the jar files actually listed at the bottom. So with that, we can hit apply and hit OK. So now we can see it down here. TestNg is part of our build path, and you can see it is part of our libraries. So now we can use TestNg. So I'll start by creating a new class. I'll call this one testng. Let's say new class, just to make it easier. So I hit finish. There you go. So now we have our new class here. So I'll talk about the different annotations that we use in TestNg. So basically, TestNg is a test framework that will help us to actually run unit tests or integration tests on our projects. So the most widely used annotation is @test. So that's actually to test the functionality of our module, or might be our one class, or might be a method that we can actually annotate with the annotation test and test it. And then we have different annotations like @before class. This is one annotation. And then we have another annotation before method, and then we have after method, we have after class. So we'll talk about those different annotations and how and when we actually use those annotations. So let me take this off, and I'll start by creating the first annotation, which is before class. So I'll do let me do one method, public void before class. So this is our, let's say I want to just print out saying this is before class, right? So I want to annotate this one with @before class, and I want to import by Control Shift O. Will import the TestNg before class. It's already imported. Perfect. So what I want to show you is why we need the before class annotations, or why we need the before method. So before I actually dive into the details, I just want to create these methods and show you step by step. So just give me a second. Let me create just this annotation, and then I will go in detail about when and how we actually use them. Let me do the after class. Public void after class method, and I want to print out with the sysout. I'll do this is after class. So I want to import this one, Control Shift O, and now I just want to copy this too, and I'll create now the before method and the before after method. Before method, after method. So this should be method, this should be method too. Control Shift O, import the dependencies. Now the last one will be @test. I'm going to do that one, public void test1. I'll say this one, and then I'll go down here. This out. I'll say this is test1, and this is after method, this is before method. Perfect. Public, and let me import the test annotations. Perfect, and save it. Perfect. Now we have everything set up. So this is what I want to show you. For example, when we use Selenium, there are different stages of your execution. For example, you launch the browser, and then you do your assertions, all those kind of good stuff, and all the validations, and then you close the browser and you clear up any cookies or any kind of stuff, right? So before you do anything, if you want to actually perform any type of action on a class level, and the first thing that will be executed for that class is the before class method. And after completing any execution in that class, will be the after class method will be executed. And before running any test scenarios that actually annotated by the annotation test, your before method will be run, and then after execution the test, the after method will be executed. So here is the position. We start with before class, and then it will continue by the before method, and then it goes to test, and then after method, and then your after class. But if you have multiple tests in between, so we have before class first, and then we have before method, and then we have the test, and then after method, and then the before method again, and then we have the test, and then we have the after method. So basically it's like before we actually do the test annotations, we always use the before method and the after method. So just to demonstrate that, I'll go ahead and run this one. So what I'll do is just right click on this class here, run as TestNg, and then we'll see the sequence so that you can actually understand what's going on behind the scene. There you go. So it starts by the before class, and then before method follows, and then we have the test1 method, and then we have after method, and then after class. So let me give you one more example here. What if I have another test here, test2. Let me call this one test2. Let me save it and run it. So let me scroll up. So you see the before class, and then you see the last one is the after class, because they are all in the same class. And then we have before method, before test1, and then after method right after the test1. And then we have another before method that's actually run before test2, and then will follow by the after method. So for each test case, for each test, we have the before method and the after method. And then the other thing I want to show you is I have a few other examples that I will actually run with Selenium script so that you actually can see the report itself. But before we do that, I want to show you, like, once we do that, we have another annotation that we actually can perform on a suite level. So TestNg is good for creating testing suites. So we have a notation like @ before suite and annotation after suite. So these are the same, they follow the same structure. So before starting any this is on modular level, is not on a class level. So always start by the before suite and then follow the before class and the way I will show you earlier, and then at the end it will continue by the after suite. So let me take this off. So the way you control this one, once you actually complete writing your annotations with TestNg, what you have to do is you have to inject that your scripts using ANS or using the TestNg XML or from the command line. You can do that by converting this. For example, if I go to TestNg at the bottom by putting right click, you see an option out here at the bottom that says convert to TestNg. So go ahead and click on it, hit next, hit finish. So if you notice here at the bottom, you see testng.xml. So that file actually will be the driver for your text execution. So we'll go deep into this, discussing about this testing.xml. This is the XML that we actually can modify and schedule our execution on based on their criteria. We'll go deep and discuss about more about these scenarios on the next video. So for now, thanks so much.